So today we have the session MMPM 001 Block 4 Unit 13, that is Information Processing. And the contents what we are going to cover: introduction, concept of information processing, exposure, attention, comprehension, acceptance, building, retention, the imaginal processing, the influencing factors, and marketing implications of the information processing. So before we'll start this one, we have covered in the last unit, that is the problem recognition occurs when the consumer recognizes difference between their actual state and desired states, that we have discussed in the last class. The actual states is that what you purchased or what the performance you have observed and what the concepts are there in the market, or the states, the features of this particular product or the services what we are intended to purchase, that is the desired state. And that differences we are going to see that if the differences is sufficient and that is being perceived by the customer or that is going to be accepted by the customers, then there is a problem recognition, because there is a gap, huge gap between actual state and the desired states. So these gaps is creating the problem recognition. So once problem recognition is there, then we are going to search what kind of product is going to satisfy our need. So for that reason, we are going for the informations processing. So here is the communications process by which we can able to understand that how information processing takes place. Let us say we are going to start with the problem need recognitions, as this particular kind of things being almost similar to that is what we have covered in the Angel Blackward Vineyard model. This model we have seen that how the problem need recognition gone to the information search, and from the information search it has gone to the internal searching. So internal searching is mostly that is related to our memory. From the memory, I told that that is also equally we can able to see in the case of Howard set model, where predispositions cases we have seen that the models are there which is predisposed to that particular, we called it them as a evoked set. So evoked set, what the highly prioritized brands or the brands where we can able to take the decisions, there are the good brands to purchase. So when we are searching for any brand or any particular kind of product, so always we are in the search for the evoked set to find it out which are the brands we have already evaluated very well, that remained in our evoked set. So first we need to search, that is the internal search, and that is going to the memory. If the memory information is not sufficient, so then it is very much essential to go through the external search. So we called it as an external search, is that we are going through the different process. Either we may go through the internet, or we are going through the product search by directly going to the retail outlets, or we are being exposed towards the different kind of advertisements. I told that is in the case of your Angel Backward Vineyard model, we have seen that there is a marketeer dominated stimuli. So marketeer dominated stimuli, what we called it, when any advertisements because of the appeals being used, that is being highly appreciated or highly it is going to influence the customer, or it is highly influencing any senses of the customers, then we are going to say this is a marketer dominated stimuli. People can able to recognize it, but it is not always true or not always right for all the customers. It differs from customers to customer, because one kind of stimuli may affect much more to one category of people, it may not affect to another category of people. So that's why, so when we are going for the external search, what is it happening mostly, that we are collecting the informations from the sources. The sources can be either the product physically what we have seen in the retail outlets or the shopping malls, or the product we have seen through the different kind of advertisements, or nowadays through the social media. If it is we are going to see through the Flipkart, Amazon, or we can talk regarding the social media like your Facebook, Instagram, we have seen the product and we have verified this particular product, and I have gone through. So evaluation process takes place by seeing this particular product. That is the kind of exposure. So external search is being controlled by this particular. So that is marketing mix elements and other communication elements. So when it is acceptance, that is coming to your external search. But before going for that one, let us see that what is it present in the market. So that is going to affect to our external search. So first is the marketing mix. We know it very well. The product is of marketing, that is product, price, place, promotions. So product we have seen, I told that physically if you have seen the product, one of the senses might be going to affected by seeing this particular product, or the sound, the noise, the picture, the quality, people are talking about that. So any information which is going to affect a lot. So that is mostly going to the product cases. The price, sometimes the price is absolutely different. What it is going to affect a lot to the customers, because the price they have not seen, and that is a very often negotiable price or very low price. Sometimes also the e-commerce sites are using the flash sales, where they are offering a particular price structure where customers have never seen this price structure earlier. So instantly they can able to purchase. So that is affecting a lot to the during the external. So second is it coming that the third is coming that the distribution channel, where the product is it available, whether it is available now or not. Later on, you are going to take this particular product, or it will take much more time. Like very often we have seen in the case of car, few new model cars are coming where you need to wait a lot. So that particular time customers may take decisions in a different way. So that's why we can't see that what is it going to affect a lot. You might be going to purchase the same thing. That may differ also. Last one is the promotion. So promotion is most often we have seen there are bombardment of informations from the different promotional activities, like we can say advertisements are in hoardings, advertisements in TV, advertisements in YouTube. So too many ways it is coming to affect the customers. And besides that also sales promotional activities day by day during the festive seasons, the heavy discounts given by the different companies. So that is also affecting a lot. Next, if you are going to talk regarding public relation, people are talking about a particular brand, or there are a lot of articles about that particular brand. That brand is too successful. Within a short span of period, it has achieved the sales very high, or it is the largest selling products in the Indian market. So these are the things also equally going to affect through the public relation. And we can call that personal selling cases. Very often we have seen in the roadsides, people are talking about a product by seeing that particular product, demonstration of the product, or somebody is elaborating this particular product. That canopies are there roadsides where people are trying to explain regarding the product. This affects a lot to the customers. And direct marketing, every day each individual is interacting through the different electronic medium like laptops, like cell phones. So through this particular medium, he wants to, or he's by mistakes sometimes also searching some brands and something is there, or sometimes intentionally trying to see some of the brands and products, evaluating them. So this is affecting a lot. So after that, it is going to the exposure. What is exposure means what kind of information is it coming, and your level of exposure to that one. If you are too much exposed of the different kind of information, so your decisions will be faster. Sometimes some of the exposures are very much tending towards to the purchase, means huge discounts being given, or the product is too much attractive, or product is too qualitative, or techniques is very nice. So something is newness is there, which is also forcing you to purchase this particular. So the exposure is also sometimes controlling the senses of yours. So next is the attention. It is capturing the attention because exposure is good. So capture of attention is also very nice. So it depends also the persons that those who are being exposed towards that particular kind of information. Then it is coming interpretation. That is mostly in case of your perceptions. We have already read that selection, organization, and interpretation. Like that also, when we have the attention towards any particular brand or advertisement, so we are equally also trying to interpret. By interpreting, we are going to study very well the attributes or the benefits of this particular product, what we call it as the features of the product. and we evaluate that these features are good or bad. By this process we are interpreting this is a good brand or bad brand, or you can say this product is good out of in this particular brand or not. That also we are going to evaluate. Acceptance, if you have evaluated, two things are coming to us. That is, one is that positive and second is negative. That means you have accepted this particular brand or product is positive, means you are too satisfied with the what they have told or what they have given the informations. And second cases is that you are not accepting as a positive, you are accepting it as a negative, means this brand is not performing very well. So both the things can be possible. But once acceptance is there, that is the retention. So retention in the memory. So in the memory we have also the bad brand, we have also the good brand. But most of the cases we will find 70 to 80% we have the tendency to keep only the good brands about any particular product or product category. We are never going to keep these brands which are not good at all. So that is again storing. So this is a long term process, and this is a process, continuous process, that every time the new informations are coming from the market and customer has by the process is evaluating, getting the informations, and these brands are coming to the memory, and by this process the reshuffle things are happening, like in the I can say that in your evoke set cases the brands are coming up and down. Because of that, one of the brand which is you are liking most, and earlier you may like the second brands most. Because of that, every time you are being bombarded towards the different kind of information. Because of your overexposure, day by day the positioning of the different brands are changing with you. So that is what we have seen in these particular cases, that the information search, two way things are happening. One is through the internal search you are going to do, that is from the memory. Second is the external search, that is from the environment. So this is all about this particular communication process where you can able to understand the information search. Now, concept of information processing, that how information processing takes place in consumers. So information processing is described as a series of activities by which stimuli are transformed into information stored and used. Like there are a lot of informations are coming from the different sources. We can say that sometimes it is the good about a brand is it coming, sometimes bad about the brand. So what is it going to happen? The positive side and negative sides both you will be adding. So more is the positive side, weightages are there, or more is the features are positively described or being evaluated, and negatively less evaluated. So we are going to store it as a positive brand, and we are going to select it as a, for the future we can purchase this particular product. And we are storing this particular informations in our, what I told already, in the input set. And when there is a requirement for purchasing or taking any decisions regarding any particular brand, so we are using that is used in that information. So we are going to use to select and finalize which brand is good or bad. It thus serves the purpose of linking an individual groups with the situation. So sometimes in the different situations also the information processing are different. Let us say I am going to take the example that when the summer season, as you are a regular coffee drinker, so because of too hot, sometimes the situation is compelling you not to go for a hot coffee but to go for a cold coffee, or you may switch over from tea to cold drinks. So that is the kind of, so situation sometimes what it is trying to do, it is changing your preferences or changing the information processing and finalizing that what the things can be going to influence more. Information, what are the informations what we are going to get it from the market, that is based on the several things. Let us say go through by one. One is the facts. Facts are the simplest form of information and have the characteristics of being either directly observable or verifiable. Like we can see the statistics being given in the newspaper, that what is the selling of different category of cars of a particular company or from the different companies in a particular year or in a quarter. So that data is mostly authentic data because that is being observed properly and that is verified through the different sources. Might be got this particular information from the different dealers and distributors or from the company. What is the exact sale is it happening? That figures they are given in the table, and that is going to say about the facts. So facts and figures mostly trying to give the information regarding a particular brand is good or bad. Next is the estimates. Estimates as a form of information is based on inferences. the inferences may be drawn either logically or statistically derived. So when you are going to take the information that inference, so you are going to take the decisions that finalizing that on the basis of that you are finalizing. So this is sometimes we are going to say that is logically or statistically you are going to do. Means the data what you have collected, you are calculating through the different statistical tools and getting the how this particular thing being affected. Like I can say that if you have gone through the regression analysis that the advertising cost has increased and too many advertisements are there, too many sales promotions are there, and finally what extent is it depending the sales of this particular product. So you can predict that in future, or you can estimate whether in future the product sale will increase with the increase in advertising cost, or increasing sales promotion cost, or increase in selling cost, or you are giving more salaries to the sales employees. So this is being calculated. You can calculate through the statistically, or you may do some kind of logical things. Yes, no kind of logical things you are going to do to the options that if you are doing this and this thing will happen. If this you are not doing that one, then this thing will happen. This is the way what you are going to inform, and you can able to estimate regarding the sales, the quantity of sales you can say, or you can say that the sales what it can be possible in the near future. Now, this is the prediction. Unlike the first two forms of information mentioned so far, prediction is futuristic in nature since it makes forecast of event yet to happen. So, this is another way what we are going to see that prediction is futuristic. That means you are going to predict about the future. Like I can say that recently there is a war is going on, then there is a lot of problems in the different countries, then new versions of cars are coming, like electric cars are there, hybrid cars are there, petrol cars are there. So predicting about the cars is quite difficult today. Like whether this car will sustain in the near more days or not, whether government is going to approve this kind of car for more days or not, whether electric cars will dominate the market, or whether the hybrid cars are going to dominate the market, or the ethanol cars will come to picture in the market, or maybe the solar cars will come to the market. So this is completely a doubtful situations where we cannot say that what can be done or what is going to be happen in the future. But still within that particular statistics, we can able to predict. It's for the previous years we can do, and after that we can predict about the future. That is possible. That trend analysis cases we can do that. What is the trend it is going on from last 3 years or 5 years, and we predict that if there is no external changes or the things will be like that from the previous year. So this can be the sales in the future that you can able to predict. Generalized relationship. This forms of information is a form of linkage between the past and the future links that facts with reference. Like we can say that there is a drastic changes being happened during the COVID-19 situation. So during pandemic, we cannot say what the product sales will be except the FMCG, because this is essential commodities. People are definitely going to purchase whatever the circumstances may be. But when we are going to talk regarding durables or high engineering products, that is based on discretionary income. So when customer has more discretionary income, they can invest to go for the more number of products. Otherwise, they cannot go for. So that's why there is a linkage. They want to see that in the past this kind of situation occurred. Then again in the future that kind of virus may come or may not come. So that has to be seen properly to verify whether these things are will not happen again or will happen. So that is they are going to predict on the basis of that they can say. So that is a generalized relationship and they want to make it. Now information processing, how is it happening? So this is the simplest process that we have seen in different models of the consumer behavior being used these particular kind of things, and this is also used in the case of your what I told Angel backward Vineyard model in the left hand side, then also Howard set model on the right hand side. They have gone for in the output side. So first it starts with the exposure, where as I discussed this one, when there is a exposure from the different sources, maybe in the physical form or it may be through the websites or internets, or you have seen through the advertisements. So that is the kind of exposure. So every time we have seen there is a lot of exposures from the different sources, maybe hoardings, maybe newspaper, maybe electronic media. But attention, how often the customers are giving attention to those areas? But how many hoardings these people are seeing, or how many newspaper advertisements or classifieds these people are giving attention, or how many TV advertisements they are giving attention. So this is being going to be judged. And here comprehension, going more detailed about that. A consumer will always, when there is a capture of attention, always going to think about that more detailed information he wants to collect before taking the decision. So that's why comprehension is more important to, if he likes any particular product, he or she likes this particular product or brand, he has to sort through the different sources, maybe internet or maybe gone to the different retail outlets to verify whether what is it claimed by the company that is right or wrong, or reviewer through the e-commerce sites. So by doing all this thing comprehension, he is going to find that first is the yield, last next stage is the yielding. So yielding cases, what is it? It is come out with the solutions that this is good product or a bad product. And that is they are going to purchase or not, that is depending on the latter stage, but in the information stage, this is only happening in your brain, that is retention. So you are keeping it is in the, it may be a short term memory, or you are going to keep it as a long term memory. It depends that how many days this information being stored in your memory set as a good brand or as a bad brand. So yielding is mostly that is a good brand or bad brand being evaluated, and after that retention, that means that is keeping on the memory. If it is for a short duration, we can say this is in short term memory, and if it is for the long term duration, then we are going to say it is a long term memory. Now we are going details about the exposure. When you are going to talk a lot of times that the exposure, how is it happening? So exposure is the degree to which people notice a stimulus that is within the range of their sensory receptor. So exposure means there are a lot of exposures in the market or in the environment. So how many exposures we can able to see, able to recognize is more important. But I told that in the model of SR model, that is you are going to find that stimuli response model. So stimuli response model cases, what is it happening? The exposures are all stimuli. So all the stimuli is not recognized by our sense. So all the five senses are not recognizing. So that is a stimuli. Which stimuli would we note that in the absolute threshold cases, that the stimuli which are recognized and stimuli those who are non-recognized. So when it is recognized, then there is some kind of sensitizations and there is a behavior can be seen. So that's why exposure, all the exposure, the degree of that the stimulus, that means the stimulus is very strong stimulus, then there is a chance that the sensory receptors is going to receive that. If it is not at all a strong one, sensory receptor may not recognize it. Second is consumers concentrate on some stimuli, are unaware of others, and even go out of their way to ignore some messages. So this is happening also sometimes that we are concentrating more on a particular area because of our own interest, and we are neglecting or we are do not want to see. So sometimes is it happening also, we are purchasing any particular product by seeing only few features by not recognizing other features, and later on we suffer because of age, we have not seen the other features of the product. So that's why it is more important that how the customers are trying to see the stimuli. So there are different stimuli are coming in the terms of the features of the product, the performance of the product. So which performance and which feature based you are going to purchase, that plays a vital role. So you must have the awareness regarding all the features to be a good purchase or information processing can be possible. Otherwise, if you are taking the decisions on the basis of only few stimuli are so strong, you have evaluated on the basis of that. So during their daily activities, people are exposed to a large number of stimuli at random. While driving, you may hear commercials, see billboards, display adverts. So that I what I already discussed, that when we are moving by the vehicles, both of the sides you can able to see the hoardings, even if also when you are moving in the trains and other thing. So many hoardings we have seen, but we cannot recognize all the hoardings. Only one two hoardings which is really interesting or having some celebrities or picture wise very nice or bigger picture. So these are the things which are affected a lot. So that is capturing the attention of the customer, so people can able to recognize and that can remembered also, but not remembered forever. That may be a short term or that may be a long term. It depends. So here an individual can be exposed to only a mere fraction of the available stimuli. So it depends that how quickly you have seen or you have evaluated. So that is, if it is exposed is very less time you are going to give, so that means the stimuli is going to affect less. If you have more time you have spent, the stimuli will affect more. Now selective exposures, you here what it is going to happen, that you are going to make the selections what to see or what not to see. So it refers to the truncated outcome of the exposure. So you are going to verify that what is the outcome of this particular exposures once you have seen that is good. But like I'm going to say that when the welding is going on, the lights are very bad. So that kind of cases mostly we are avoiding not to see that. So that is the selective exposure cases. We are sometimes avoiding not to see certain things. Sometimes we are making it as a strong hesitations towards that kind of exposures. So that is each individual can able to control his stimuli level of stimuli penetrations. So experience is one factor that determines how much exposure to a particular stimuli a person accepts. So when you have the experience regarding a particular kind of products, what it is going to happen, that less information you require. Like as we have discussed earlier, that in the case of Howard set model also, that limited problem solving, extensive problem solving, and routinized response behavior. So when the people have more information regarding the product, so he has to go for the limited problem solving. Means less information he requires to take the decisions. Extensive problem solving cases, when you have limited information available with you, so you need to search a lot to take the decisions. And routinized response behavior cases, you are very much experienced regarding this particular product, only doubts in the few factors, and you are analyzing this, your brands on the basis of that few factors. So experience, it is trying to control your the stimuli. Means if you have experienced more knowledge in a particular brand of product, so you may not accept more stimuli from that. Thus, if our past experience about the message is not very stimulating, we will also avoid it. That means perceptual fillers. Sometimes what is happening, we are neglecting. If you have seen that product is not good, or you have the previous experience, like we can say that if you have taken any food from a particular hotel and the food is very bad, so whenever you will move by the vehicle in that particular road, you will always avoid to see that particular hotel because you have very bad experience. So product also, when you are purchasing, having any bad experience, you are not going to select or not. This is the perceptual failures, means controlling your senses, automatically controlling that not to see or not to take decisions regarding that particular kind of stimuli. So when one first forwards through a commercial on a pre-recorded program, this is referred to as jipping. So that means sometimes also it is happening that first forwards through a commercial. So we want to see this particular advertisement very fast. We do not want to see, that is a pre-recorded programs you have seen, and as you have seen it earlier, so what you are going to do, you are covering very fast. But when you have not seen that particular advertisement, you are going to make it more detailed to observe what kind of advertisement is it. Now, muting is the process of turning off the sound during the commercial break. So it is happening also. Some of the people are not interested to see certain advertisement because they are feeling very much boring by repeated exposure of that kind of advertisement. So some of the stimulus, if it is very often repeated, people try to avoid, or sometimes they're muting. Like you know it very well in the TV cases, any advertisement frequent is coming, people try to mute the sound because it is disturbing them. So that is all about the selective exposure. Now it is the adaptation. How the people are adjusting themselves with this particular situation. The adaptation is the degree to which consumers continue to notice a stimulus over time. That means you are noticing this particular kind of things. continuously over so many years or so many months. The process of adoption occurs when consumers no longer pay active attention to a stimulus because it is so familiar. So sometimes what is it happening if the advertisement what you have seen that is almost similar, and this advertisement is no way different from the previous advertisement what you have seen, so you want to avoid, you are giving less attention to that particular kind of stimuli, or you are not interested to see that kind of stimuli again. So that is mostly going to happen. Factors lead to adaptation. So how the factors is leading to create the adaptation? First is the intensity. Less intense stimuli, soft sound, colors habituate because they have less of a sensor. So when the noise is not coming very strongly, or the picture is not so good, hedgy, not colored very well, or the program is not narrated properly, so people want to hesitate to see that one, and they have habituated with this kind of thing, so they have the less attention on that. Second is the duration. Stimuli that require relatively lengthy exposure in order to be processed. So sometimes the stimuli which is very fast may not be recognized by the people, and stimuli take which takes more time, so it is for the customers to understand it properly and can evaluate it is a good or bad. So sometimes duration plays as a vital role for that one. So for high interest group, the duration is good, but if it is a low interest group, if the duration of the stimuli is more, it is not going to affect. People are going to avoid, or people may leave the place also. So duration is more important for the high interest group people. Discrimination. So simple stimuli tend to habituate because they do not require attention to the detail. So discrimination is that what way this is different. One stimuli is different from another one. So simple stimuli tend to habituate because they do not require attention to detail. So you have already regarding this particular knowledge what way one stimuli is different from other. So your attention will be limited, do not require attention to detail. So you do not want to put more time for again the same discrimination you want to understand from the advertisements. Now, factors leading to adaptation is the frequency. How frequently? It is believed that in the advertisements, initially they are gone for the more duration advertisement and less frequency. Means how many times this exposure or advertisement being shown to the people or the public. So initially that is very rare because that the content must be understood by the customer. Once the customer understood what they are going to do, the duration they are going to reduce and the frequency they want to increase. So frequency increase means there is a huge chance that everybody will see this particular advertisement if the frequency is more. Otherwise, it is not. Like frequent encounter stimuli tend to habituate as the rate of exposure increases. So automatically the rate of exposures will be increases. Frequently you are going to see. So automatically the person will remember it very fast that when the frequency will be more. Relevance. Stimuli that are relevant or unimportant will habituate because they fail to conduct the attention. Means sometimes you do not require a particular kind of product. Like I can say a male person is watching a different types of sari advertisements, may not be more interested, or a particular kind of cosmetics which is targeted to the women, may not be interested. A bachelor is trying to see the advertisement for the children, so may not be interested. So some of the unimportant advertisements or unimportant stimuli, people do not want to see or do not put their attention towards that one, and that is the irrelevance we are going to talk regarding now. Now it is the attention. Once the exposure is there, so next thing is it coming to the attention. How the attention be captured by the exposure. So always companies are started with a different type of exposure to capture the attention of the customer. So here attention is the degree to which consumers focus on stimuli within their range of exposure. Means that there is any kind of exposure is there, people are going to give the attention. People will stop their working or stop their other works and pay attention towards that kind of stimuli. Then we can say the attention, this exposure can able to capture more attention from the customer. This is very often is it happening that in the shopping malls, the retailers are trying to do the different kind of decorations and different type of lightings that we call them as a that is the form, different form. They want to show it in the retail outlets. That is what we call it as atmospherics. and they want to change the attention of the customers, but sometimes the atmospheric also not going to change because the product or the atmospheric is not too attractive. So this became a challenge for every retail outlet, how they will design their retail outlet so that they can be able to capture majority of the customers. So because consumers are being exposed to so many advertisement stimuli, marketers are becoming increasingly creative in their attempts to gain attention. So that's why some sorts of creativity you need to do so that you can able to capture the attention. Sometimes nowadays people are very much interested in the moving kind of things they are trying to do. It's like mannequins being used. So earlier that is stationary mannequins are there, and today mostly movable mannequins giving namaskar or giving respect, and sometimes the noise based also welcome to the stall like that, which is capturing the attention of the people. Dynamic packaging of information or stimulus is one way to gain the attention. So sometimes, so dynamic packaging, what way you are trying to do now, people are trying to do also a lot of experimenting the how to do the packaging of a particular thing, so making it more attractive, more gorgeous, so that it will capture the attention of the customer. Now, underscoring is the paramount need of being always ahead in the art of gaining consumer attention. So how you are going to put your information so that it can able to gain the consumer attention. Some media and communication consulting firms have established elaborate procedures to measure the attention of consumers on the several fronts. Like I can say that we have also the pupillometer, and we have also different kind of CCTV camera. We can able to capture the attention of the customer where the customers are giving more attention. We know it very well that pupillometer is the study to understand how your pupil of your eye is moving. So by seeing a particular newspaper, in the newspaper, if several advertisements is there, so which angle your pupil is more time concentrating, there we can say that this particular kind of advertisement, the attention capture capabilities. Gaining attention to packages or enhancing package effectiveness, they recommend using such instruments as an angle meter. So angle meters are also being used nowadays in shopping malls to see where people are standing much more, where they are asking too much of questions in the product. So product category wise, they are going to find where the concentration is more. So they are focusing more on that kind of products, because rest products the attentions are less. So they are going to reduce that category of products and increasing the products where the attention is more. Now contrast. So sometimes contrast colors are also being used to capture the attention. People are very often try to see. Most often what we have seen that focusing light, we have seen in the ornament stalls, right? If it is a diamond, as it is more costly, you will find more number of spotlights are there than the golds, than the silvers. And that's why they are going to put more distance. From a distance also you can see it looks very nice, the diamonds they are going to do. Then for the gold also, they are going to keep some less distance for that one. And for the silver, you may not find much more distance and much more light system will be there. So many stimuli are competing to be noticed, but one will receive attention to the higher extent that it differs from others. So what way one is differing from other, by different colors are you putting or doing that one. So contrast also being used in the case that in the retail outlets you might have seen that selling chocolates, they have the separate sections. Intentionally company have designed and company has paid for that particular space to the retailers. Contrasting is another way of gaining attention of the consumer. Stimuli that fall into unpredictable patterns often command a lot of attention. So, putting that one fall into the unpredictable patterns. Sometimes odd things you want to put where people are not expecting something. So that is also capturing the attention. I can see that in the case of you will find uh, different kind of dolls being used that for selling this particular kind of product, and their movement, the people are there to do different kind of animals demo they are trying to do, and within that the people are going to move and to capture the attention of the customer. Another powerful way to achieve contrast is to use different color and format. So we know it very well. The contrast colors means very often these kind of things are used in all e-commerce departments or e-commerce channels. You will find that when recently the festive seasons, you will find the new variants of products or new schemes being coming. So that is in the flash cases is it coming, or sometimes contrast color is it coming, that is going to affect a lot to your eyes. The size of the stimuli, sometimes the product size also plays a vital role, bigger size product or smaller size product. Within the bigger size product, you are going to keep a small size product, or within a small size product, you are keeping a big product. So that is also equally capturing the current attention of the customer. Closure, that is what we have already read in the case of your perception cases, that closure, each individual person has a tendency that any picture is it coming that is half completed, or any form is it completed or half completed. So my human mind is like that, it will complete it or making it a completeness of this particular picture. So that is very often happening by immediately after this particular slide you are going to see the picture, you can able to understand it, how our mental system is have a tendency to complete any kind of information is lacking. Like here, mentally complete a partial complete stimulus to achieve closure, and therefore perceive an incomplete picture as complete. Like you just see that how these things are happening. It is just like we are going to say that when somebody is going to observe, he is going to predict that this is a triangle, but there is no triangle you will find in this particular picture, because you will find three circles have cutted. That means a partial chord of the three circles are there. They have positioned such a manner, somebody is going to think that this lines, if I'm going to join, so within three circles, one triangle is there. So that is our completeness, that our mind is never going to accept that three circles with cut pieces are there. Rather than it will accept as three circle, above that one triangle is there. So that is the completeness, what we are going to say, that is a closure. Now, principle of similarities. The principle of similarities is based on the thesis that consumers tend to group together objects that share similar physical characteristics. So we have a tendency, when you will see the products are looking almost same, we take them as a this is same, not the similar. Like their group look like items into sets such that they form an integrated whole. So we think that that is totally a integrated whole. So in the next picture, we can able to understand it. What is the principle of similarity? We can see here that the triangles are there, then circles are there, but we keep it at the all are almost same, equal-spaced. So it looks like a very nice rectangle kind of thing. So principle of similarities, we have never considering that if the difference is there for circle and triangle, we consider circle and triangle. There is very rare differences is there. So that is what we called it as the principles of similarities. Now, figure ground relationship. So here figure ground cases, very often these kind of advertisements being used in corporate sectors, that is in which one part will dominate while other parts recede into the backgrounds. This is going to happen. Figure ground relation cases, you will find you have to consider either you are considering the ground or you are considering the figure. Two objects things are happening. Let us go through this particular next slide, we can able to understand it. Here you just see that one is figure and another is the ground. Figure, if you are going to consider the white part is the figure. If you are going to consider background, black part is the background. So when you are considering a figure, we can able to see a very nice pot, or a pot you can say that is a teapot or kind of things, or you can say it's a cup, sports cup also you can say, or you can say glass jar kind of things, container to consume water or liquor. But when you are going to consider only the ground, then you have seen two faces are facing each other. Two similar faces are facing each other. So two things is it coming from this particular same picture. If you consider the figure, one thing will come. If you consider the ground, another thing will come. So these are the kind of things mostly people are trying to use in the advertisements, even if also in the retail system also they are keeping the product such a manner so that people will see it very nicely and can able to understand one thing is coming and second thing is coming by considering the ground, and by figure one thing is coming. Now these three things we can able to see now. That principle of closure means we have seen here all the circles are there, only one place is emptied, but we consider that this is a complete circle, whole circle. There is no empty. Second cases is the principle of similarities. You are going to find is the four blacks are there here, right hand side, four darks are there, that is less dark. But we consider that both are similar, there is no difference, much more difference is there. Then principle of figure, we have already seen that is a kind of jar and two faces are there. Now comprehensions. Next stage has gone for the comprehension. We are what we comprehend when the informations are coming, and that is you are going to store. So comprehension is supposed to have occurred when the consumer has placed the stimulus into any known or familiar categories in their mind and have assigned the meaning to them. Like what it is a human tendency that always whatever the new pictures and new things it will come. So he is trying to compare the previous pictures and other thing, what is it already present in the memory. So on the basis of that, he is going to comprehend that whether it is an object, this is an animal, this is a plant, what and the object which are unable to comprehend very well, so that will remain as a uncleared objects or not. It is going to perceive that what kind of product is it. But every time we have the tendency to find the familiar things with how what way this is similar, or we are familiar with that kind of objects or the persons before that we are going to see. So comprehension refers to understanding of deriving meaning out of the given stimulus. So we are deriving on the basis of the comprehension about the particular object, photograph, anything is it coming to our mind. And the entire process is affected by the factors like cultural values, because we know it very well that we are in a particular culture. So whatever the things it will come, the containers will come, the languages will come, the dresses will come. So everything we are relating to our culture as we are belonging to one of the cultures, and our decision and comprehension are based on the cultural values and social systems where we are staying. Maybe I can say that the same object seen by a Muslim person, same object seen by a Hindu person, same object seen by a Christian person, maybe they are interpreting in the different, or they comprehend in the different way. Different locality also, I can say Keralites person is going to see, an Odisha person is going to see, and a Delhi person is going to see, maybe predict or the comprehend in the different way. Now acceptance in building, whatever the comprehending these things, whether it is a positive, it is a negative, that we are going to accept. So accepting or tendency to accept new or varied informations. So when you are accepting the informations, we are trying to keep it as a positive or negative. It is good product, it is a bad product, it is a neutral product, like that. Very rarely we are trying to keep that this is a neutral product, but most often we are going to say this is a good product or a bad product. So that's why it is for meaning, and therefore observing it is in the cognitive structure or long-term memory. So we have a tendency, not only we are accepting whatever the information is it coming, we have also the cognitive effect, means we are also analyzing very well what the structure is it, what the color is it, what the picture is it, whether that is right picture, right color, it is an odd one, it is not a even one, that should not be accepted. So all these things are coming to mind to verify this particular information, and after that, that is going to be kept in the long-term memory. So that may be remain more days as a long-term memory, or it may be for a certain duration, we can call it as a certain memory you are going to keep like this. Act of agreeing or disagreeing with the incoming stimulus of the market means what the marketer is claiming and what you are observing, there is two things is it happening. That marketer is claiming that this vehicle will go with the fuel efficiency of 20 kilometer per liter. And when you have gone through the several YouTubers, those who have experimented with the same car on the road condition, they have told that it is only 15 kilometer, but what the companies are claiming, that is wrong. So here the question is coming, you are disagreeing that what the already mentioned by the company, what he is trying to justify, that is wrong, and you have already tested, you have already purchased this particular kind of product, and you have also evaluated, so you know it very well. So stimulus whenever it is coming to the human being, and as a human being, so he is never going to take haphazardly that whether he's going to agree what company told. So he's always trying to verify it, and if he will find the similarities is more what claimed by the companies, then he is going to accept it. If there are lot of dissimilarities when evaluated by the consumers, then he is disagreeing with the what the fact came by the companies. Now, resistance or unyielding means sometimes some of the cases what I told that you do not like it, or you are not at all interested for that one. So that particular cases you are saying consumers do not fight off with the marketers for their new meaning of the inputs. So what they are claiming, companies are claiming that this efficiency, this is the power, this all the kind of vehicles. Sometimes customers are not willing, as they have known that this product will not perform. So they know it very well that whatever it has written, that all are not wrong, but that is 100% it is not true. So they do not want to fight, and they will take it as an acceptable level that what company is claiming that is not right. 80% of the thing or 70% of the things are right. So if they do not like a given input, they may just ignore it or make it as a topic of social discussion at get together. So sometimes we have seen also very often that the government taken any particular kind of decision is always a social discussion topic, because you may like or you may dislike also. So product performance cases also you may take it as a social discussion, because you do not like this particular kind of car, or you do not like this kind of clearance, or you do not like the power already given to this particular kind of car, or you do not like also the fuel efficiency of this particular car. So these kind of things are happening. So because of that, you are to either not fighting. Second condition is that you are ignoring. You do not want to expose yourself towards that kind of information again and again, because you know it that either it's a fake company, or even if also a good company, whatever he is justifying, that is not actually true. Very rarely it is true. So this is a form of mild resistance or lack of acceptance. So means the mild resistance is always from the customers, and the customer will not accept it. But later on, if some features being changed or something else can be done, so customer may accept it. But these particular situations, customer is not going to accept it. Now the ways to resist. So how the customers are resisting the information or the stimuli, what is it coming? There are several ways by which consumers may tend to unyield or resist in respect of marketing message. So how to do that one? The first way is to list counter arguments. So you do the counter arguments. You very often these kind of things are happening, that when we are taking the services like internet services or talk cases, so we are counter argumenting that your speed, what you have claimed about the internet, that speed is not coming. So you have cheat us with this one. So they are going to say that yes sir, we are in a particular condition, it is going to show the strength of the signal is also important, how far your house is from the our tower. So these are the few things the counter arguments are happening. Or product cases also, if somebody is going to talk more about a particular brand or product, also you are also counter argumenting, because you have products, you have also purchased the product of different brands earlier. So you are arguing on that also. The second way is that attack the source of the message. Directly you are attacking that whatever you are going to say that is wrong. All are fault, because you are right, and whatever you have seen the product that is not present with the present product. Third way is to seek support evidence of the arguments. That means you try to require that what the arguments you are going to put, you need to get the support from the market, that whether people are going to supporting whatever you are going to say or they are not supporting. They are supporting, that means whatever you are going to say that is right. Now the retention. So retention refers to the last stage of the information processing, when you have already know about this particular brand is good, bad, and you have evaluated, and on the basis of that also final stages it has come, you have argued, you have done, and whatever the inference came, whether you understood that this is a good brand or this is a bad brand, that you are trying to retain it. So retention cases, it may be a long-term retention, it may be a short-term retention. So retention refers to the last stage of the information processing when you are, that is mostly you are carrying after retenting that once, what it will happen that you got the experience regarding that brand or product. Whether you want to purchase this product in future or not, that is based on that what you have processed. So that is in the retention, whether it is a positive brand, negative brand, that you are going to vary from this one. It signals the entry or the arrival of the stimulus in the long-term memory of the consumer. So, in the long-term memory, what the brands you have already kept is a good brand. So, this information, if it is more better brand than the previous brand, then that will also create a disturbances on your memory, because it will get the first position, and the previous brands which have already got, they will go down, and that is the kind of thing will happen. So retention is the ideal objective of the company in context of information processing, and that this helps customers develop attitude as well as belief. So by retention cases, consumers are developing their attitude that this brand is good, or in the public forum they can able to say that these brands are good or bad, or you should giving the advice to the people that you should go by this particular product or brand, because they have evaluated, they have gone through the different sources, the informations, and on the basis of that they have done. Now the imaginal processing. An impression seems to be gathered that information processing means word processing. This is incorrect and wholly inappropriate, particularly today when images seems to be overtaking the words in the communicating. So we cannot say that it is an imaginal processing, because you are doing in the conscious stage, because you are collecting the information from the different sources and you are evaluating. It's a cognitive process. So when you are evaluating through the different media, you are evaluating to see that whether this is right, wrong, and as for that you are accepting or rejecting, and this is incorrect, wholly inappropriate, particularly today when images seem to be overtaken by the words communicated. So we cannot say that impression will be a particular product will be positive or negative, because there is a bombardment of the informations. So every time the brand what we are going to consider as a good brand might be after certain days might be, it may be a bad brand, or if it is a bad brand, so sometimes after certain days might be we consider it as a good brand because of that the product performance what we have seen. So it is also easier to recall the picture and visual memory. So that is mostly we are trying to keep it. Certain models are very nice, certain models are not good, so that we are going to keep. Now the influential factors, having gone through the 5 important stages what we have already discussed in information processing, it is important to take them as a whole, identify what are those factors that influence the stage of information processing. So starting from your exposure, attention, all these things, so finally information processing when it is happening. So here influential factors exposed may have little relevance to the retention or vice versa. Means what you are going to keep it as a retention, so that is maybe the what I told, that is you are considering it as a positive or you consider it as a negative, so that you are going to keep it in your memory. The influencing factors are, the first influencing factor is the demographics of the consumer or the receiver. So which demographics the consumer is, is he a child, or he is a adult, is he a old age person? So the influence processing is also different, you will find. Second factor is psychographic factors, what way he is thinking, what way he is believing, what way he is purchasing. Third factor is information characteristics themselves, rational appeals versus emotional. Sometimes people are emotionally too much attached with the brand, so if you talk or evaluate the brand is bad also, they will not take it as a bad brand, they will take it as a positive. So these kind of things are also happening. So but each individual has a rational appeal, always he is going to appreciate to select that which brand is good or bad. But sometimes emotional also plays a vital role to, even if also the brand is not good also we are going to select. The fourth influencing factor is the cultural environment where we have born and brought up, so that plays a vital role. Selecting a particular kind of colors or selecting a particular kind of shape and sizes of the product also we are attracted, or we are taking decisions that this is a good brand or bad brand on the basis of that. So marketing implications, that is the design of the message. So use of color, contrast, mostly trying to use the information processing will be different. And the concept of proximity, that message being taken, how similar is to the previous purchases, on the basis of that also you are information processing is there, so you are positive or negative. Then concept of selective exposure, what to see, what not to see, it is based on also your culture and previous perception, what you have done about a particular brand or product, that is good or bad, that is trying to control your exposure, what exposure you want to see or not want to see. Then influence of values, that which values you are going to give more important, that is on the norms, the rules of the societies, where are you going to give more importance. It also depends on that which family stages you are in, bachelors, honeymooners, like that, marital status of your person, so that is taking the decisions for that. So thank you. Today's session is a very nice session. What we have discussed regarding the information processing. Immediately after that, need recognitions, we have started with the information processing, and that is tending towards the purchases, or it can be an experience. Thank you.